Okay, so today we are reviewing for your midterm exam. This is going to be part 1 of your review. Tomorrow will be part 2. But what I've done, okay, so you had your review sheet last week. Okay, we went over most of those answers in class, besides like the terms and definitions and whatnot. And where did I post your answer key? Where is your answer key to that? No, it's on Google Classroom. Okay, so the answer key. So all the names of the polygons, all of the sum of their angle measures, all of that, it's on Google Classroom. So the review sheet is there for you guys to practice those problems, use the answer key to check your answers. And again, we already solved pretty much all of those problems last week when we were doing those reviews in class. Okay, now today I have created a different PowerPoint. This one is a little bit more direct as to the types of questions that you're going to see on your midterm exam. Okay, so these questions are going to be recorded and put on YouTube. You guys can get on YouTube, you can put your headphones in, and you can listen and watch these examples done again. Okay, you can pause it and you can solve the problems and then you can watch me explain it. All right, that's a really great way that you guys can prepare for your test coming up on Thursday. Okay, so in solving equations, this is just a little bit of a different way to ask something that you have been doing all year. All right, I said, give the value of x that satisfies the equation. What does x equal? The value of x that you find is the value that would make the equation true. That's all it's saying. So what I want you to do is go ahead and solve for x. All right, but it's going to be worded that way on your test. Give the value of x that satisfies the equation. Okay, so she got -6. Do you guys agree? Okay, so let's see how she got that answer. You guys watch up here for a second. Did you do the distributive property? 4x plus 8. Okay, then did you subtract 8 from both sides, okay, to get -24? And then did you divide by 4 to get -6? All right, who got -6? Anybody get -6? All right, very good. All right, Talila, come up and spin the spinner for me, please. All right, next question. Tell whether there is one solution, no solution, or infinitely many solutions. So the problem that we just worked, where we said x equals -6, that was one solution. Okay, so now what I'm doing here is I'm trying to figure out if there's one solution like the one we just did, no solution, or infinitely many solutions. Okay, so the first one, Josh says infinitely many, so let's check it. Did you do 1/2 times 10x is 5x? Did you guys do that? Yes. 1/2 of -6 is -3. So 5x minus 3 equals 5x minus 3. What do you notice about this equation? It's the exact same thing on both sides, guys. So when you try to cancel the 5x, when you try to subtract it to the other side, what's going to happen? They both cancel. So what do you have left? Equals -3. So that's infinitely many solutions. That's infinite. All right, any questions on that? Okay, so on the next one, coming back to Team A. All right, what did you guys get on the second one? Anybody get that answer, Noah? It is no solution. All right, so watch what happens on this one, guys. Did you combine your like terms? Y'all are still kind of struggling with that. All right, on the same side of the equation, I have like terms to combine. -6 minus 2 is -8. Now, do not move the numbers first. Do not move the numbers first, okay? So you always want to move the variable first. Well, when you try to subtract 4x, it cancels out. What's left? -8 does not equal 4. So it's no solution. All right, good job, Noah. Go spin. Okay, while he's spinning, I want you guys to start in the next problem. Okay, so on this one, we're going to solve and graph inequalities. So there's going to be a couple different types of questions on your midterm about inequalities. So we're going to kind of touch on each type of question that you're going to see. But the first thing I want you to do is solve the inequality. -3x is greater than 15. So solve for x. Then I want you to graph the solution. Then I want you to give a value that would be a part of the solution set. Okay, so any value that would be a part of the solution set. All right, so did you divide both sides by -3? Okay, and because you had to divide by a negative, so guess what, guys? This is multiple choice, but your other choices are going to be your common mistakes. So you're going to have one choice that's x is less than -5. You'll have another choice that's x is greater than -5. So just because it's a multiple choice test does not mean that it's going to be any easier. You have to be confident in your answer. Does that make sense? Okay, so does an open dot or a closed dot go on -5? It's open, and my arrow goes to the left. If you don't catch that you're flipping the sign, you're not going to get the next question right either. Can anybody give me, so just this is just kind of whoever can answer this. Can anybody give me a value that would be a part of the solution set? Give me any value. No. -6. What's another one? What's another one? Give me any value, guys. Look at here. Any value less than -5. What's any value? -8, -7, -10. So if I give you, no, don't do it. If I give you 4 choices, this is multiple choice. Could you tell me a value that's a part of the solution set? Okay, so I would say, something like -7, okay? -5 is not a part of the solution set. All right, here's another way that I'm going to ask you a question on your midterm. I'm going to give you the graph. Could you tell me that the graph represents the solution x is less than -5? Could you read that graph and be able to read the graph as x is less than -5? Okay, so you'll have a couple questions on your test where you have to match the graph with the solution. Does that make sense? So you're going backwards. All right, now let's do compound. Vivian, go ahead and go spin that spinner for me. Spin the spinner. Anybody in Team A ready to answer the compound one? Okay, I think Gavin got it. All right. Vivian got 400. Okay. All right, compound. All right, Gavin got it. Read me your answer, Gavin.
-10 is greater than or equal to x. X is less than 2.
Okay, you have it right on your desk. You just have to read a little different. So what did you do to solve that? Guys, pay attention to this because if I'm going over, it's on your midterm. Divide everything by 2. You paying attention? Divide everything by 2. Okay, divide by 2. What's -20 divided by 2? -10 is less than or equal to x, which is less than 2. Okay, so now when I graph that, what is my lower limit? -10, and what is my upper limit? 2, and just put any number in between. 0. Now, open or close dot on -10. Closed, and open or close dot on 2. Open. All right, now, the same thing is going to happen on your test. Sometimes I'll ask you to solve, and you'll need to choose the letter of the correct choice of the solution. Or I might give you a graph. Okay? If I give you this graph, could you tell me that x, or your solution, is greater than or equal to -10? So you're going to use that point. -10 is the lower limit. 2 is the upper limit. And then the open and closed dots tell you whether it's less than or equal to or greater than. Okay? So you're going to have to do that backwards on a question on your test. Give me a value, any value that would be a part of the solution set. No. It has to be, no. It has to be in between those values. 0, -5, 1. Would 2 be a part of the solution set? No, it is not, because it's an open dot on 2, which means the solution must be less than 2. Okay? So any of those values would be a part of the solution set. All right? Those are the numbers in between. These numbers make the compound inequality true. Okay. Any questions on inequalities? You guys have any questions? All right. Pretty good. Okay, so now we're going to do transformations. You need to translate, rotate, and dilate the ordered pairs. If I give you on your test 90-degree rotation, I will give you the code. If I give you 180-degree rotation, I will not give you the code. You have to know that one. The 180-degree rotation is the easier one, okay? And we'll talk about that in just a minute. Okay, so she got -8 because we're going 5 units left. Did you subtract 8 from the x value? Did you do -8? -3, I'm sorry, -5. -5 is -8. Okay, so that's how she got -8. And then 7 units up. So does that mean you add to y or you subtract it? You add. Okay, so what's -7 plus 7? 0. All right, she got it right. Go ahead and go spin the spinner, please. Okay, what about rotate? Anybody over here get rotate on team A? Colin, what'd you get for rotate?
Yeah.
-4 and 10. Very good. Woohoo! Jada got 500. All right, Colin, come spin the spinner. All right, 500. Okay, come spin the spinner. Okay, so Colin on the rotation, guys, on the rotation 180, each value becomes the opposite. So now it's -4 and +10. All right, good job, Colin. Okay, 450. Woohoo! All right, good job. Okay, what about dilate? Anybody over here on team B? I need somebody who hasn't answered yet. Isaac, what'd you get for dilate?
What is dilation?
All right, Sequest, save him.
-8 and 12.
Yes, -8 and 12. To dilate, you must multiply by the scale factor. All right, Sequest, go ahead. -8 and 12. You multiply by the scale factor. Okay, guys, we're going to the next section. Now, this is something, listen, this is something that we've done, but this is a different format that you're looking at. Okay, so I want you to look at this shape up top. Which of the 3 images shows a reflection? Write it on your desk. Which of the 3 images shows a reflection? Which of the 3? Okay, go ahead and just write it on your desk. 2, 3, 4. Okay, so it's team A's turn. All right, Brayden, what do you think? It is A. A is a horizontal or an x-axis reflection. Does everybody see how that flips horizontally? Okay, so A would be the correct choice. All right, Brayden, go spin the wheel. A is the correct choice. Good job. All right, here's another one. Look at this shape. Please don't say the answer out loud. Which image shows a translation? Would that be A, B, or C? All right, don't say it out loud. Just write it on your desk. Would that be A, B, or C? Rome, you need to pay attention. Are you answering this? Okay. All right, Cade, what do you think? Angeline, what do you think? C. It is C. It is C. Okay, so C shifts that figure up. Okay, and to the left. So C is the correct choice. A is a flip, guys. The point is facing down in the image and then it's facing up. So A is a reflection and then probably a translation. All right. C is the correct choice. Does everybody understand why C is the correct choice? Yeah. Okay. Colin, you're going to need to stand up if you can't wake up. Okay. All right. Cade, go spin it. All right, guys. These are, listen, okay, so we're just going to kind of go through these. These aren't going to be actual, like, the questions for the game, but you need to know this information in order to be able to answer these questions on your exam. For one, I told you that you could memorize the sums of the angles. Colin, go ahead and stand up for me, please. Go ahead and stand up in the back. Okay, the sums of the angles of the polygons. All right, so what is the sum of the angles of a triangle?
180.
180. Does anybody remember quadrilateral? 360? Okay, 360. What about a five-sided figure?
580.
No? Okay, you guys don't know it. Five-sided is 540. Six-sided is 720. Okay, and then 900. All right. So what if you don't have them memorized? Pay attention. What if you don't have them memorized? You need to use the formula. So that's what you were asking about just a few minutes ago. The formula is n minus 2 times 180. All right. What does n stand for? The number of sides. How many sides are in the figure? So 6 minus 2 would be a hexagon. Minus 2 times 180 gives you the sum. Now you also need to know how to find the individual angle measure. So on your exam, I'm going to ask you, what is the individual angle measure of fill in the blank polygon? Okay, so let's talk about an octagon. Does anybody know the sum of all the angles of an octagon? It is 1,080. It's 1,080. Okay, so if the sum is 1,080, how could I find 1? Rome, stand up in the back for me, please. Okay, divide by 8. So 1,080 divided by 8 is 135 degrees. All right? You divide by 8 to find 1. Okay? That's a question on your midterm. What is the individual angle measure of a regular, in this case, octagon or a regular hexagon? Are you going to know how to solve it? Okay? All right, now, the names of your polygons. What's a five-sided polygon called? A pentagon. What about six-sided? Hexagon. Seven-sided. Heptagon. Eight-sided. Octagon. Okay? All right, one of those is going to be on your exam. Okay, do you guys remember your angle relationships? Pull your pants up. Pull your pants up. Do you guys remember your angle relationships? Do you guys remember?
No.
Okay, we have vertical angles. We have adjacent angles. We have corresponding angles. Vertical angles are opposite. Adjacent angles they're your neighbors. They share the common side. And then corresponding angles are in the same location. All right, you need to know those three. Okay, so it's on your review video. You guys can go back and you can listen to this again and you can use it to study. You need to know those three kinds of angle relationships. Because I'm going to ask you 5 questions on your midterm that look very similar to this. Okay? So, angles K and H. Look at them on the diagram. Angles K and H are what kind of angle pair? Here's your choices. Are they vertical angles? Are they adjacent angles? Write it down. Or are they corresponding angles? Okay? So write it down on your desk. Okay? Answer that question. What kind of angle pair? Then answer the question, what kind of angle pair is angles F and K? F and K. So go ahead and write those two down. Okay, so you can come spin the spinner. All right, so K and H. Those two angles are corresponding. They're in the same location. They're both in the bottom right section of those intersecting points. So good job.
You're gonna win.
All right. Negative 100. All right. What about, okay, so Team B. I need someone from Team B. Okay. Isaac, I don't think you've answered one yet. F and K. Angles F and K. What kind of angles are they?
Adjacent.
They are adjacent. Great job. So F and K. Angles F and K are adjacent because they're next to each other. What would their measures add up to be? Pay attention. Go spin. What would their measures add up to be?
180.
180. Very good.
Okay, guys.
All right. So F and K were adjacent. Their angle measures add up to 180. If angle H, okay, so look back over to the diagram. If angle H is 94 degrees, What is the measure of angle E? If H is 94 degrees, so use your relationships. How are E and H connected? So if angle H is 94 degrees, what is the measure of angle E? All right. Zoe, can you answer that one for me? What would E measure? It is 94. Why? Do you know why? What relationship it is? Starts with a V. They are vertical angles, okay? So don't guess, if you guess, your chances, they're not so great. But if you know that they're vertical angles to each other, their measures will be the same. All right, so Zoe, go ahead and go spin. Spin the wheel for your points. Okay, next one. If angle H equals 94 degrees, what is the measure of angle K? What is the measure of angle K? All right, what do you think, Josh?
86.
No. Jada. Yes, 94 because it corresponds with H. And H was 94 degrees. Okay, very good. All right, Jada, come spin it. Okay, angles of triangles. 3 angles in a triangle are 6x, 18x, and 6x. Find the measure of each angle in the triangle. Find the measure of each angle in the triangle. All right. Okay. It's easy if you remember the setup. Now, there's no image here, okay? But you know that you could draw your own if you wanted to. What do all of the angles in a triangle need to add up to?
180.
180. So that's going to be your total. Then what do?
Subtract by 30.
Add all the angles together. 6x plus 18x plus 6x. All right, go ahead and do that and solve. Okay, so we solved for x. Did you guys all at least get that far? 30x divided by 30, x equals 6. But you're not done. You're not done. You've got to go back and plug it in. Don't forget to do that on your midterm. Plug it back in and solve, and you get 36, 108, and 36. Okay? Now, you should be able to add all of these up, and what should it equal? 180. It should equal 180. That's how you can check it. All right, Gavin, go spin it. Spin the spinner for me, bud.
Oh, I need redemption.
All right. Nope, we have this one. This one might end up being our last one. We'll just see. Okay, so triangles. So I want you to tell me this. On the shaded in triangle, is this question mark an interior or an exterior angle? That's an interior angle. So I want you to solve for that one. And then on the second one, is that an interior or exterior angle? So solve for that one. Okay, let's go ahead and do these two. All right, so these measurements, if you're having a hard time reading it, this one is 96. This one is 30. Okay, and then the question mark. All right, guys, so what is 30 plus 96? What is 30 plus 96? 126. So we get 126. Please stop talking. Plus x equals 180. Then what do? So, yes, you subtract 126. If they have to add to 180, that means x has to equal 54 degrees. All right, who got 54 degrees? Who got 54 degrees? Is it Team B's turn? Yeah. All right, Vivian, go spin it.
Oh, I need redemption.
All right, very good. Okay, next one. Who in Team A got the measure of angle 1? Who in Team A? Did anybody get it? Anybody get it? The measure of angle 1? Brayden, what'd you get? What'd you get? It is 139. So the measure of angle 1, pay attention. Okay, the measure of angle 1 is 75 plus 64. You add the two interior non-adjacent angles. So you get 139 degrees. All right, Brandon, come spin, please. Okay, last question. What is the measure of angle A? So let me ask you this. Do you think your sum is going to be 180? No, your sum will not be 180. If you count it and you don't have the sum memorized, you have to do your formula. Okay? So go ahead and try to figure out your sum and what you're adding on the left side. We're going to give you about 2 minutes. Guys, the bell might ring. Just let me explain it. We're a minute early. The bell rings a minute early. Okay, so 720 was my total. When I added all the angles that I knew, I got 600 plus x, subtract 600 from both sides, and I get x equals 120. Okay? You have one of these on your midterm, guys. Okay? Yes, go spin the spinner. All right, and that concludes part 1 of our midterm review.